I was thinking of something, because I gave some advice to, and I'm going to start to have people pay for my advice because they're making money. I give advice to somebody, right, who is in the music industry, but is not an artist, and he's just a friend of mine, and he doesn't sing, he doesn't make beats, none of that. And I told him, listen. So it was after the COVID, we were having conversation. He was telling me that, yo, I'm not making money, etc., etc. And from my advices, he went from not making money to making 3,000 euros every month, just by implementing some advice that I gave him. And what was the advice that I gave him? I told him, listen, instead of complaining about the things you are complaining to me about, I'm going to give you an idea of something you could do to generate money. Go find local artists from Africa that don't have their music online. Labels, artists, people who don't sing anymore and don't even care. People who moved on from music, etc., but they had like an album that came out 30 years ago, 20 years ago, etc., etc. And I was like, you tell these people, I'm going to take care of putting your music and putting it online through CD Baby, DistroKid, whatever. And I will only ask you 30% of the money you make. But I'll take care of everything. In exchange, I'll take 30%. So I'll become your distributor online. So, sorry. He was like, yeah, but everything is already online. I was like, no, not everything is online. That's what you think. But if you think about it, if you start asking yourself, hey, what about this song? Or what about this group from back in the days? Maybe there's a lot of music that you are looking for, or that you can think about, that maybe I don't know about, that is not online. And if you put it online, maybe people will stream it. So 3 years ago, he started listening to me. After 1 year of me telling him, do this, he started doing it. I was like, listen, I would do it, but I'm too busy. You should do it. So at a point, he had this conversation with an artist from Cape Verde. And the guy was like, yeah, I don't understand nothing of this internet. The internet, when you put your money on the internet, you don't make money because people are downloading your music for free, blah, 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 blah. And he was like, no. Listen, how many albums did you do? Well, I got 5 albums. Are they online? The guy was like, I don't know. So he went, look for the album. They're not on Spotify. He's like, oh my God. So he put the name of the artist. The only 2 free songs that come out are songs that are in compilations. So he's like, yo, you only have 3 of your songs online? You who had such a big career 30 years ago. That's crazy. So he calls me and he tells me, hey, how can I do? Because they don't have the original CD covers. So I told him, scan them. Do you have the original CDs? And he's like, some of them. I said, okay, scan them. So he scanned 2 of them. And the third one, there was a problem with the CD because it was the CD was dirty, etc. So there's nothing you could do with it. So I told him, do you have a photo of the artist, or maybe an old photo of something or something? And he was like, yeah, I have this photo of him or old photo session. I said, okay, scan one. So he sent me one photo. I cut it, put it on Photoshop, put a new title of did a new cover, and send him the cover back. And he's like, Yeah, but it's not the same cover. And I was like, who cares? He's like, that's true. So yeah, it's the internet version. The most important is the content. So after a point, he put all the content in there, and the guy was not even on Instagram. So he goes on his Instagram. He said, "Oh yeah, all the music from such and such are now on Spotify." Bam, 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 bam. Fans are like, "Oh my God, good old times." Da, da, da. People start streaming. Some playlists, Cap Verdean playlists, are starting to say, "Yeah, do you remember these artists? Da, 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 da. Remember to see? These are in our Remember the Time playlist." Boom. Start streaming. Not a lot. Like, I don't know, 10,000 stream every month. So that's 30 euros. Nothing special. All right. So he starts sending me a bunch of covers. When they are too difficult covers, I put them in AI just to clean them up because I'm good on Photoshop. So I help him. We do covers, we do singles, we do albums. He start putting a lot of content from, and I'm like, wait a minute, all these artists, they were not online? He's like, yeah. I was like, see? So at a point he had like, I think he put like maybe 100 albums from a lot of old artists. And I told him, but where are all these people coming from? He said, no, listen, this one is from Cape Verde, this one is from Senegal, this one is from Ghana. It's just people that I know, people that I hired to do shows one day, years ago. And yeah, now everybody, they, because every time I make like 100 euros, I send them like 70 euros. And for them, it's like, wow, 70 euros like every month? Yeah, listen, you think it's streaming. And so then more people come and then they have like these old obscure remixes and etc. etc. And he was like, so he called me 2 weeks ago and he's like, listen, where are you? I'm like, I'm at home. It's like, I have to invite you to dinner. I'm like, what's going on? It's like, no, listen, I just want to invite you to dinner and it's on me because you saved my life again. I'm like, so we go to dinner and he shows me. I'm like, yo, listen, this quarter, I made 10K. I'm like, whoa, that's crazy. He's like, yeah, listen, I don't need to sell shows from artists anymore. I'm like starting thinking of ways to expand this because there's so many artists out there that don't even realize that they can make money from their back catalog. So my friend is happy. I was like, listen, I'm so happy for you. That's great. You making money. That's amazing. But this gave me an idea. So you have to understand, why does all of a sudden my friend, why is he making money from old songs that you would believe nobody cares about, right? Let me explain to you. This is, for example, all right. This is my top 200, right? Of my songs that are making the most in terms of streams, right? And if you look at it, let me put this bigger. Okay. If you look at it, of course, something going on is the banger. But if you go down to my top 200, look at, for example, let me find something that is old. So let me take, for example, this track called, I'm looking for an old song. Damn it, I have so many songs. Let me find something that is old. Damn, there's no old songs in there. Another galaxy. Is this old? Not old enough. Let me go a little bit more up. I'm looking for something that came out maybe something like 20 years ago. For example, all right, let's take this track called Musicarian, for example. So this came out in 2003 in my third album, right? So Musicarian is generating 1,000 streams every month. It's a very old song, but still every day there's like 50 people, 64 people, 66 people every month, right? And it plays, a lot of plays come from 300 playlists. Kizomba of the 2000, old Kizombas, moody songs, Claudia, old Tarashinhas, Tarasho para Dias de Noventas, etc., etc. There's a lot of playlists that are, it's not playlists, it's personal playlists, but you saw 50 song here, 38 song here, etc. Okay, so it means that this song is generating, so every month 12,000 streams, so 10,000, so let's say 1,296 multiplied by 12 months, though that's 15,000 streams in a year. So around 45 euros. Okay? That's 45 euros that are generated from this song, right? Now, imagine that this is in my top 90 something, right? Now imagine if you take my top, if you go down to my top 200 songs, the last one is making 300 streams a month. So if you add, you go up to 100, this one is making 800 streams a month. So from 300 to 100, let's say a median of 500 streams, right, per month, if you take from 100. So let's say, to simplify, that I have 500 streams a month multiplied by 100 songs, right? Now I have 50,000 streams a month, all right? If I take 50,000 streams a month, multiply by 1 year, which is 12 months, I have 600,000 streams. 600,000 streams, this is if 1 million is 3,000 euros, so it's around, I would say, 1,600 euros every year. So meaning that 1,600 euros divided by 12, that's 100 euros every month from these 100 songs. Now, if we add a bunch of my other songs that I have 1,000, 3,000, 30,000, 50,000, and then the big ones here, that is 1,006,300, you arrive to an audience of 870,000 people that are making 3.3 million streams. So that's a monthly of 3.3 multiplied by 3,000. That's around 3.3. That's around 10,000 euros a month from 200 songs, right? And that's just Spotify. If you add the other platforms, maybe you arrive to, 15,000 a month. If you add other platforms like YouTube and etc., maybe you arrive to 20,000 a month. Okay, that's from my small catalog of, I don't know how many songs I have, but this is the top 200, and there's probably another, if you add all the remixes, all the things that I do, there's probably 1,000 songs in there, 1,000 masters, right? Now, here is what I start thinking. I was like, what if I had, okay, this is MJ Wemoto, right? MJ Remoto, let's go to his Spotify. This is Club Shada Piano. If you want to listen to all the songs that are playing in the back, I'm going to put them in the chat. Now, this is MJ Remoto, right? If I look at his Spotify, right? So MJ Remoto. So he has 10,000 people listening a month, and most of his songs do probably, I don't know, 1,000 streams a month, 500 streams a month, right? He has a lot of instrumentals, lots of tracks, I'm a piano, and etc., right? Some remixes for Kaysha, blah, blah, blah. All right. So, if 1 million monthly listeners generate, 1 million listeners generate around 20,000 a month, I guess 10,000 probably generate 200 to 300 a month or 400 a month. So what if I go to MJ Remoto and I tell him, hey, listen, I want to buy all your songs. Oh, what you mean? I want to own all your songs. Sushi Ron wants to buy all your songs. Listen, from my calculation, you make X per month. I'm giving you 5,000 for all your songs that are actual here. If I make 20K a month, right? For me, it's a small catalog. I can buy it between 3,000 to 5,000, right? And if you have an artist like MJ who's active, he's gonna say no. But if you have an artist that is not even interested in music anymore and has maybe some old songs like the ones my friend is distributing, this guy might say, how much? Well, listen, I'll give you 3,000 now for your catalog, your small catalog, 2 albums, 3 albums. I'll give you 5,000 now. And now I have 4 more albums. And now my work is to monetize them, right? So you're gonna say, yeah, but that's only let's say 500 per month more that you would get from that album. I said, okay, in 10 months, I'll make my 5,000 back. And now I'm making 20,000 plus 500, right? Let's say that every month I take 20 from the 20K I make per month. Let's say I take 5,000 and I start buying a lot of small catalogs. I find all the artists that are struggling, that don't believe in themselves or whatever, or people that don't care that much. And I give them 2,000, 3,000, 5,000, and I just buy catalogs, one after the other. Imagine if I can buy catalogs of 2 albums, 3 albums, 5 albums like this every month. Let's say I buy 2 every month. Let's say, so every month I buy from small artists that, I buy 10 albums. By the end of the year, I will have 120 albums. And by the end of 10 years, I will have 1,200 albums streaming. So if all the 1,200 albums just make, listen, let's say 10,000 stream in 1 year, I will generate 36,000 every year from all that. And then after that, my job will be to make them generate more. And then I was like, that's very interesting. Listen, if you take a bunch of artists that don't care or don't believe in anymore, or just labels who just like, and you buy the whole catalogs. You buy them like Chinese catalog, Nepalese music, Congolese music, music from here, you just buy catalogs. After a certain point, you make money not because of the music. You make money because of the amount of music. So yesterday, I'm talking to a friend of mine. We are building a fund for African countries and African companies. It's going to be called the African Fund, and we're going to have a fund that invests in African companies so that the music from Africa goes back to Africa. So we're still in the beginning of that. But I was explaining this strategy to him, and I was like, yo, listen, I'm thinking of starting to buy catalogs from artists, just one by one. And he was like, he started talking to me like a Wall Street guy. I was like, huh? What are you talking about? He's like, nah, listen. Why don't you evaluate the value of your catalog and you buy other catalog with the value of your catalog? I was like, you can do an IPO. I was like, yo. You are going too far for me. I don't understand nothing you're saying. He's like, okay, listen. Imagine you have the Kaysha catalog that is generating, let's say, 25,000 every month. So it means that you make 25,000 every month, meaning that every year you make around 300,000. With this 300,000, it means that every 20 year you can make 6 million. So now, if you can say how much it costs to you, how much it generate, and how much it will appreciate or depreciate with during the years, now you can have some people that are in Wall Street, that are like the Moody's, that are rating, that can, and then they will give a value to your catalog. Now, once it has a value, you can do a IPO where you generate 1 million shares or 1 million crypto tokens of your catalog. And once you generate all these 1 million shares, you take 80% of those shares and you keep them for yourself. So you still own them. Now, you sell 20% of that catalog that is worth 6 million. You sell 20% of those shares to your fans, your Club Shada listeners, all of these people as tokens. So let's say you have 1 million shares. So you have 6 million in valuation divided by 1 million. So every share costs, every share of Sushi Raw costs $6, right? Now, because you go to these valuation, the big banks like Morgan Stanley, etc., like all these banks, they will say, we are interested. Maybe they will buy 1% of the share, 10% of the share, 5% of the shares, right? So now they buy early, and because they buy the 20% from all these big banks, so that they can also put them when you go public, maybe it will make your price go from 6 to 12 or from 6 to 30, for example. So all of a sudden, your company is not worth 6 million anymore. It's now worth, 50 million, because of the value people want to buy your thing. And you still own 80% of it, but the 20% that you sold, let's say, is worth now 100,000 because of the valuation of your company and the fact that people are interested in buying those 20%, because all the money you're going to do now, they know that 20% is going to be divided by your fans, your this, your that. With the 100,000 that you made from selling 20% of your company and then selling it back those actions to investors like you guys who want to make money. Now you have 100,000K. That what you can do is you can go see bigger artists or a bunch of small artists, and you can just tell all these artists, hey, I'm buying your catalog, I'm buying your catalog, I'm buying your catalog, I'm buying your catalog. And what you do is you can show the investors that because you are buying more and more and more catalog, you are actually gonna generate more money every month. Listen, if they see that last month you made 20K, but next month because of all the catalog you bought, you make 21K, for them, it's percentage. Then the shareholders, you guys, are like, oh my God, we're making more money. So the shares cost more money. So maybe you holding your Sushi Roll shares for $20 now, but somebody's telling you, hey, I'm buying it for 25. You sell 100 of them. Now you have 2,500 when you spent 600 for 100 shares. You sold them for 2,005. So everything is going up. It means that my 80,000 shares, my 80% of shares are also becoming, instead of being worth 5 million, now it's worth 20 million. So I can still sell a little bit of it, or just go to the bank and say, listen, I want to collateralize my 20% of the shares that I have. I'm not selling them. I'm just putting them as a guarantee. And in exchange, you, the bank, you give me $5 million. Now that the bank give me $5 million, I take these $5 million and instead of buying small catalogs like MJ's, now I can go and buy, maybe I can go to Nelson Freitas and say, bro, listen, Siquat Pedro and Selmo Ralph, and tell them, hey, bro, I'm buying your whole thing for 1 million. Hey, I can go to the whole Zouk industry, for example. I can go to Section Zouk and tell the guy, listen, I'm buying the whole catalog for 2 million. I know how much it generates, more or less. I have an idea. I'm buying everything for 2 million. I buy this one. I go see artists like Princess Lover, artists like bunch of artists, because I know more or less how much they generate because I produced a bunch of artists like these. So I know more or less how much I buy their catalogs. And now maybe you double the size of your catalog with these 5 million. You can multiply the size of this catalog by 10. And instead of making 20 per month, now you make 200K per month. Making the valuation of your thing go higher and the valuation of the 20% you sold go even higher. And maybe at a point, there's one big catalog that sees you and say, hey, listen, you make 200K per month from this big catalog that you've been creating, meaning that every year you generate 2.5 million. Okay, listen, we're buying the whole thing for 30 million. And you sell everything and you're like, check out. So that was my dinner yesterday. I was like, yo, I love this. That's crazy. But this explains to you why this guy Mercuriadis, I'm sorry if I'm misdoing his name, with his catalog. That's why they are buying the catalog of the 50s, the Dr. Dre's, the Justin Bieber's, the Justin Timberlake's, the Dreams, all this. That's why they're giving these people like 100 million, X 100, because they are building this super catalog that is generating millions and millions and millions per month for the hedge funds. And for them, they only see them as assets. They don't care about the artistic thing in there. I mean, they love music, but as a monetary point of view of the things, for them, it's an asset that generates money. Listen, if you have one song that generates €5 every day, you might say to yourself, that's nothing. But listen, some people get paid €5 an hour to work, but you have an asset that is generating €5 per day, and you don't have to do nothing, just create it. You have the possibility to create it, and you can make more of those. You can make 100 of those. All you have to do is take your mic and sing. If you have 100, now you can generate 500 a day. And most artists, that's not the way they think. They're gonna think about, the value of music, my art, my this, my that. Yeah, cool. But if you start speaking to the people I speak to, and they start putting in your mind how you can actually buy stuff without selling or without your own money, you start being like, wow. And yesterday I was like, very interesting. And this guy made millions, his fortune in telecoms, so he knows what he's talking about. And he told me that's how we evaluated our telecom companies, and that's how we sold it for hundreds of millions. And after that, now I can, give advice to the young guys like you. I was like, all right. I was like, thanks for my Club Shada tomorrow. He was like, oh yeah, cool. So listen, moral of the story is, when you think about your business, your career, your music, make sure you sit down with people that are smarter than you, richer than you, and who can mentor you into thinking further than your own ideas. Because listen, I thought my idea of just buying small catalogs for 2,000 or 1,000, or just finding people and telling them, just like my friend, hey, listen, let me distribute for you and we share the revenue or something. To me, that was already a good idea to make more money faster. But this guy took me out there. I was like, wait, I can treat my catalog like stock option? He was like, yeah, of course, it's an asset. You can really, that's what startups do. You sell the future value. And you have these people, that's their job, accountant, super accountant, Moody's and Standards and Poor's. That's what they do. They will say, okay, from what we see, from what he made the past 20 years, we believe that the value of this asset will be X in that point. So then the big banks are like, okay, in this case, to turn this value into X, we are willing to block this part of the asset without buying it, and we give you some money, and with that money you make it go higher. And I was like, yo, all right,